Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Brian Himmelfarb, aka the Himmelgod. Welcome to episode 24 of the Himmelgod Has Spoken. And just to kind of give you guys what's going on here, this is what we were planning tonight. The whole computer was set up and it's deciding to lag out and it started to piss me off. So we had to go to the backup. I'm back on the phone again tonight. Hopefully everyone files their way in, makes their way in. What's up, Alpha? Things not working the way I was hoping for, and everyone will just make their way over to another source here tonight. So that fucking sucked. We tried, everybody. We tried. I guess the hotel felt otherwise, and my computer felt otherwise because it wants to go ahead and update. So I was pretty pissed. So here we are. We're back on the phone again tonight. At least for now, and in the coming weeks, we'll be back on the computer here, and we'll try again for next week. So, pissed me off. Fuck. But hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for coming to hang out. Alpha Excalibur in the house. I saw Billy Ricky is here tonight. ADTR, Will 10. I know Elias and Luke Rojas, two of my other mods, they're going to be in here tonight as well. So thank you guys for being here to hang out for a little while tonight before we get ready for Thursday Night Throwdown over on the Joe Cronin Show channel. So you guys are all beasts. Come in here right now to hang out. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've got my thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2. We're going to get into also Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We're going to talk about both of those games. AMC's The Walking Dead. If you guys don't know what happened in the last episode, might be some spoilers for you guys that's going to be coming up for the next at least 3 episodes and into the second half of the season, which will premiere later on in 2019. What's up, Coop and Ed's View? But we'll talk about that. And of course, I got my picks for NFL week number 10. As you know, I'm here in Green Bay. We got Green Bay Packers versus the Miami Dolphins on Sunday afternoon, a late afternoon, as they moved it to 3:25. So looking forward to a flex game, and in the flex game, that means more drinking time, so that's going to be fucking awesome. So thank you guys for being here, hanging out. Click the like button while you're here. Greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time, click subscribe. We've been having a hell of a ton of new subscribers that have come over to the channel in the past about couple of weeks. So I want to thank everyone who subscribed. I've been putting them in my Red Dead videos. I got another Red Dead video that's going to be coming up very soon. I don't think it's going to be tonight, but probably tomorrow as the snow falls here in Wisconsin. So traffic will be backed up for a little while before I can go out and work out, but we're going to get busy. But yes, we're going to have NFL picks tonight. We're going to get to that very shortly. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Make sure you guys are supporting everybody around here on the network. Make sure you guys are supporting Joe Cronin. As we said, Thursday Night Throwdown tonight over on Joe Cronin Show, or at least on Corrupted or on the Corrupted Podcast channel. So figure out which one it is. The vet's doing fine, Will. Thank you. That's down in Florida though, so I ain't gonna worry about snow. But what's up, Sarah? Also, shout out to Ken the Foul Mounts Network. Send him some love over there. Also, Billy Ricky, who's here tonight. We got the Insomniac warm-up show, of course, this weekend, so make sure you check that out. Yes, TSS, this is a Dolphin shirt. This is one of them old school Mitchell and Ness setups. So that's going to be pretty awesome. I love this with the old school logo. So I got it off Mitchell and Ness. I love it. It's pretty awesome. Shout out, of course, to Two Marks Crew. They'll be live tomorrow night. I will be there as we talk wrestling. And, of course, that gets ready for Monetize This on Friday night. So really exciting for that. And, of course, Drew the Gatekeeper. We got Derailed coming up this weekend. And just so you guys know, who won this past weekend was me. Winning over the Trek. And I get to go into the final. Very excited about that. The Trek has now been beaten for a second time by me. So in case you guys didn't know, and you didn't go back to that episode of Derail, go back and check it out. Check out the name game. It is a little long. I mean, Trek took at least 5 minutes to give an answer. And what surprised me during that time was I should have challenged him on it because one of those answers just didn't really feel right. And I knew the answer. So it was a little weird, but I did get called out on one of them, which had to do with Hulk Hogan and the last company he wrestled for other than WWE, which I said was WCW. Justin called it correct. And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to shroud out the controversy angle and say, oh, wait, no, that's not right. That's not right. He was in TNA. He did it in TNA. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Wasn't he a general manager in TNA? He wasn't a wrestler in TNA. Well, we looked at it after a while, and we found out that he did, but Justin had it done incorrectly. But we had to go to sudden death in this one. See, anything with controversy is what involves me in winning anything. Always a controversy. But, yeah, he did wrestle once, and that's how I got screwed. One time in TNA. Just one time. That's how I got screwed. But anyway, we go to sudden death, and it went back and forth, and, yeah, it was a Himmelversy. Shout out to Ed's View. It was a Himmelversy, and then eventually came down to Royal Rumble winners. And that's where I got the trick, because you got too comfortable with answering Hogan. And then when I knew the 1989 Royal Rumble winner, because I always watched the Royal Rumble, so I knew who won in 1989, which was Big John Studd. And I ended up taking it. So the controversy over, I still move on to face either Gina or Okayfabe in the final, which we'll find out this Saturday on Derailed. Now, I won't be there this weekend. I'll be back the week after. As you know, my brother's coming up here, and we're going to be partying in Green Bay. This is my last weekend up here in Green Bay before I go home to Florida. Am I wearing a Dolphins jersey? No, this is a shirt, TJ. It's a shirt. But I'll tell you what jersey I'm wearing this weekend. I'll pull it out of what jersey I'm going to wear this weekend. I will grab that and show it right here live on this channel. Whose jersey am I wearing Sunday for the Packers-Dolphins game? It's going to be awesome. But we'll get to those picks. So shout out to everybody here. Hit the like button. Let's sit back, relax, get a drink, and get comfortable, because this has been a very trying week for me. It's been a very difficult week for me to deal with. And then I'm sure a lot of you guys know what happened on Monday. A special stream that I put out to answer at the allegations, the things that were said to me, and some things that were being said on another podcast. And I went out there, I answered it, I fired back at them in the best way that I could. And I appreciate all the support from everybody who came to me and said, Brian, we love what you did. That was great. It needed to be said. And I appreciate that very, very much. Of course, on Tuesday, they decided to fire back again. But unfortunately, their attempt was pretty pale in comparison to things that have been said to me before. So the childish antics of this podcast to mock me and really put no effort into mocking me. I mean, I come out and said, listen, if you're going to mock me, put some fucking effort in. What I saw was pretty freaking lame from these guys to go ahead and I'm using that term loosely, guys, because what they were immature children, and it showed me how much I beat them. It showed me how much I conquered them. I beat them. They were done. And the best thing they can come back at me with after I put them away was to mock me. It's so lame. And then by the next morning to make a fake Twitter account of my nephew, which was really over the line. That's when you just cross that line. And it's enough for me to sit there and say, you know what, I'm just going to go after these guys, but I'm not. I am going to waste my time. But because I know for a fact, and I will put it out there as fact, CCF, you guys are cowards. Everything you say on your show, you hide behind your camera, your keyboards, your mouse, whatever it is. You hide behind your screens, your microphones, and you say what you want to say, but you don't have the balls to say it to my face. That's why you guys are worthless. And who cares about your podcast? I just don't care. So do what you want to do, say what you want to say. You've all been blocked and ignored, and I just don't give a damn. And I think the rest of us shouldn't care either, because let's just face it, they're fakes. And let them be fake. Fakers be faking. and let them move on with their lives. I'm going to move on with mine. This is all behind me. My conscience is clear, and I just don't care about what they think. So we're all going to move on from this, and obviously showing that I'm the better man. I'm just going to walk away because I've already won. So there's nothing else I need to do. But that's that. I'm not going to spend my time giving them any free pub. They've been giving me free pub for the past few weeks. That's why I've been gaining so many subs and follows and everything. So thanks, you know, because people know truth. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Alpha ADTR. Yes. Look, man, just like you guys here, I have all your backs. You have mine. We're all together, man. That's what it's all about. So, the Ace. What's up, Ace? Anyway, let's get right down to it. What's up, Casey Yates? We're going to ignore the bullshit. We're going to move on. That's what it is. Hashtag CCF sucks. There you go. Xbox One. Want to get right to some quick Xbox news. As we know, we had a couple of new back-compatible games show up on Xbox One this week. If you're a fan of Tom Clancy, this would be a good week for you. A lot of Tom Clancy games have been put out. Still quite a few. Hashtag Splinter Cell. You know, we want some Splinter Cell. We don't have enough of that. But Tom Clancy's End War was announced as a backwards compatible game this week. A real-time strategy game that utilizes voice commands to control Battlefield. And I think of another game that was sort of like that called Full Spectrum Warrior. This is Xbox, Will. Full Spectrum Warrior, very close to that idea where they used commands like that. SOCOM could be another game on PlayStation using voice command and whatnot. So, my fave, I love SOCOM. That was the shit, man. Also, another Tom Clancy game, Hawks, which is a jet combat game, also made backwards compatible this week. So, good week for Tom Clancy. You got all the Rainbow Six stuff up there already. Rainbow Six 2 was one of my favorites from Tom Clancy, and we used to play the shit out of that game back in the day. So that was one of my absolute favorites. So we play on Xbox 360. So it was actually really cool. But these backwards compatible games are available on Xbox One, and they're available right now. And it made me think about something. And one of the things I thought about was, what games am I still waiting for to be backwards compatible? If you guys got a game that you're still waiting for an Xbox One to be backwards compatible, put it up in the chat, because we need to find out what you guys think. And I'm going to put my games that I think still need to be backwards compatible, and we're still waiting for them. And what's up, Luke Rojas? He made it in here, folks. Luke Rojas, he's got a wrench. Watch out for Luke Rojas, everybody. And behave yourself in here, Luke. Don't make me regret it. What's up, TSS? But some of the games I thought of right off the bat that need to be backwards compatible, Mortal Kombat came right to the top of my list. And there were 3 games in particular that, with Mortal Kombat, I'm still waiting for backwards compatibility. Mortal Kombat 9, which was released in 2011. It's also known as Mortal Kombat 2011, which kind of was a reboot in a way to the series, where they go back to where Raiden's like almost going back in time and resets this. It's resetting the story of the first 3 Mortal Kombat games. And, of course, one of the featured characters in the game was Freddy Krueger. And you were able to play as Freddy Krueger in the game, which I thought was pretty awesome. And I feel like one of the reasons this game is not backwards compatible is we deal with the licensing issues. And one of the license issues probably has to still deal with the Freddy Krueger character. And that's probably one of the reasons why we don't have the game available. Ed Boon has come out to say that he wants Mortal Kombat to be backwards compatible on Xbox One. So hopefully we get MK9. It's one of the best, probably one of the better stories, even though fighting against freaking Shao Kahn was a bitch. I just put it out there. What was my favorite character in Mortal Kombat? Ooh, that was a good one. You know what? I'm a Scorpion guy. I can't help it. Scorpion's my favorite. That's it. You know, when I first played him, even though he wasn't the first character I played as, I think the first one I played as was Sub-Zero. But Scorpion, I just loved it. Every time he used a spear and he's like, get over here. That was awesome. That was just a great moment for me when I played the original Mortal Kombat in the arcades back in the day. But it was Sub-Zero that I pulled the first double flawless with a fatality. And I did it with Sub-Zero, so I thought that was awesome. Another game with Mortal Kombat I want backwards compatible is the Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection, which is the first 3 games. You get Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 together in one collection. Surprisingly, this is not backwards compatible yet. Why not? People have been begging for this, and I'm surprised that this one didn't make it yet. The Mortal Kombat movies. I like the first one, hated the second. The rebooted one they were trying to do was actually looking pretty cool. So I hear they're just supposed to do another movie, but we haven't heard anything from it yet. The third game I also have on my list is Shaolin Monks. This is on the original Xbox. What's up, Blake? Shaolin Monks was really cool because you got to play as Liu Kang and Kung Lao during the events between the original Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. And it was almost like it was telling the story. You got to play as those characters. And if you beat the game, you got Sub-Zero and Scorpion to play as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. And you could do fatalities and all sorts of shit. It was like the first kind of anthology game that actually really worked. And I'm surprised we haven't really got these yet. But again, Ed Boon mentioned all this stuff back when he was saying, hey, I want to make Injustice 1 backwards compatible. But we got that. But surprisingly, we didn't get these. I'm just hoping that they don't make it Mortal Kombat versus DC because that game sucked. I don't want to see that at all, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I see, Blake, you got a question about Black Friday. We're going to get to that in a little while here. Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, we got a few games in there. San Andreas. We got GTA 4 that are backwards compatible, but I'm still waiting for Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City. Again, a lot of licensing issues in terms of music that's in the game because it's all licensed songs. And, of course, you got to deal with the voice actors and all the other stuff. So, what is that? Don't play Mortal Kombat on YouTube or else Mommy YouTube will take down your video. Damn. I got a lot of Mortal Kombat videos on my channel, man. I got a lot of them. Yeah, music is the issue with GTA, and hopefully we can fix that. Of course, you got the Michael Jackson issue. They have to pull songs out of a game. They did that on PlayStation, and also for our mobile devices where you can actually play those games. But I kind of want it on a bigger screen like you have it on PS4. But I want to see it on Xbox as well. If they can get those versions that they did where they were able to take out a few songs because of the licensing. And Jenna Jameson, I don't think is going to be an issue. So I'm sure she would take the extra pub and the royalty checks that would come from people that would want to buy the game, whether it's digitally or they're getting it out on disc, whatever it takes. But I don't think that would be an issue. Other games that sit there, but I said Grand Theft Auto, that one, GTA 3 and Vice City. I want both of them. Other games that sat there on the top of my mind, Jet Set Radio Future was on the original Xbox. A lot of people were thinking in this last set that it was going to be there. Burt Reynolds, thank you. Burt Reynolds also in Vice City could become an issue there as well. Jet Set Radio Future, again, licensed music is an issue. So hopefully they can get past that. We did get the original Jet Set Radio that's on the 360 backwards compatible. So we're just waiting for this one. And hopefully they can get through some of those licensing issues with music. Ninja Gaiden 2, still waiting on this one. Surprisingly, we got the first one. And I'd love to see the next one. GTA San Andreas needs to be remade. Yeah, it was called GTA 5, Luke. Did you ever play... yeah, Luke, did you play GTA 3? Come on, man. But Ninja Gaiden 2, I thought was a great game. I loved it. We got Ninja Gaiden Black right now, backwards compatible, so we're still waiting for the second game. Hopefully that comes soon. The Warriors, a game that's also on PS4, is not available yet. And this is one I would love to see. It's on PS4, not on Xbox. Borderlands needs to get... Joe, you just brought that up. Joe Pessendorfer, everybody, brought up Borderlands. There's a rumor of it getting remastered. We just haven't seen it yet. It was supposed to be out towards the latter part of last year, or even by this fall. They were talking about having it, and it never happened. But I think the original Borderlands is backwards compatible, though, so you can play it. But yeah, I kind of want to see a remaster, I'll be honest. The Warriors, definitely. That was a great game. And I have it on PS4. I love it, but I want it on Xbox, to be honest with you. One that I think may never happen. I want it to happen, but it may never happen, is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And this was released around the time of the movie, which the movie was great. What's up, Gina? This was a game that kind of was like River City Ransom meets Double Dragon meets Streets of Rage, putting it all together into this. And then you got the Scott Pilgrim story, and you're playing a fighting game, kind of just like how you were watching the movie. And it was really awesome. But the problem is Ubisoft lost the rights to it. That's why we haven't seen it. It was delisted off the marketplace. Chances are we'll never see this game. I loved it on 360. God, I want them to bring it back. But it's probably one of those pipe dreams that probably just never happened. Street Fighter Cross Tekken is another one. This is probably not a favorite of a lot of people, but it is a favorite of mine. We were expected to have Tekken Cross Street Fighter, which would have brought the whole game in 3D. It never happened. But I'd love to see this 2D game come back. So hoping that we get to see it, because we have a lot of Street Fighter, and I just want to see, and especially Tekken games. Why can't we bring this one together? Hopefully it comes soon. So it may still happen. Fear. You guys remember the Fear series? First-person shooter, but with horror. And so you got that first-person horror shooter, and it was pretty psychological, if you could think about it as well. It was just all over the place, and it was a fun shooter. You can go into slow-mo and start taking people out. And then, of course, all the horror and the blood and everything, the girl and all that stuff that you see. It made me start thinking of The Ring and all that stuff a little bit. Will says, you ever heard of a game called Rust? Yes, I do. I have heard of Rust. I have heard of it. Haven't really played it, but I have heard of it. Red Dead Revolver. We got Red Dead Redemption. We got Red Dead Redemption 2. And now that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not backwards compatible. You just have the game. But I feel like let's kind of bring it all together and get Red Dead Revolver. Again, this is on PS4. Would love to see it come to Xbox, another Old West game. I think this was in a little bit more first-person view, I want to say, for Red Dead Revolver. I might be wrong on that. It's been a while since this game. It's an original Xbox title and a PS2 game. But would love to see it come to backwards compatibility. Excuse me for a second. Aliens versus Predator. This is one's been talked about a lot. And this is rumored to be coming soon. And I say that because there's a listing right now on the Xbox Marketplace for this game. So it's kind of been delisted forever, and then all of a sudden it just appears out of nowhere. And it's available to be bought on Xbox.com in the marketplace, but it's not backwards compatible. But it looks like, because you see that listing, this one's coming. And so I think it's going to be very soon. This is the one that's done by Rebellion, and it's actually one of the better Alien games that's out there, other than, say, Alien Isolation, which is fantastic. Except Aliens Colonial Marines sucked ass. I have a feeling that one's going to be back compat one day, because they'll probably release that instead of this one, but I don't think that'll happen. With it being listed, it's coming soon. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is another one. It's a RPG that was done by 38 Studios that went bankrupt. If you guys remember the whole controversy around 38 Studios, Kurt Schilling should come up as a popular name there. He was the guy also behind that. There was so much shit that went down with that studio. They went bankrupt. The game didn't sell as well as they were hoping for, even though the reviews were through the roof. Well, we found out that THQ Nordic bought the rights to the game. They have everything, all the assets to this game. And where's my Himmelgod? No, I'm sorry, I gave up on that. I'm still winning on No Nut November, so I'll just throw that one in there. No Nut November, still winning on that one. But THQ Nordic bought the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur, and rumor is they're going to make a remaster of this, of the original Xbox 360 game, instead of doing a backwards compatible. I guess they're going to want to see how much interest they're going to get by people who would buy it, and if it does well, they're going to continue making games for it. So there you go. I don't think that's a good thing. Wow, I'm holding out, you know. I don't think it's going to hold forever, though. I'll be honest with you. Time I get home, you know, there's enough women over there. I'm going to get laid anyway, so it's not going to be an issue. Lollipop Chainsaw. Have you guys ever heard of Lollipop Chainsaw? This is a game that's done by Suda51. He's a guy who's really freaking out there. No, I don't want a Himmelbeard. I don't want a beard. No, I'm not a beard person. It just doesn't work for me. But Lollipop Chainsaw kind of you know, it's here you got this one chick, like a cheerleader kind of thing, and kind of fits that Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of issue, except you're killing zombies and some demons. I thought it was pretty cool idea. Great game, very colorful, very out there, humorous. Sometimes with its own brand of humor. She has like her boyfriend is a head that she was able to save from him. So it's actually some really weird shit, but with a big ass chainsaw, and the game was very popular, and hoping that happens. A few more here. WWE All Stars is one where you saw the wrestlers as like jacked up steroid freaked action figure type of characters in wrestling, and you were able to create some of the greatest matches of all time. This was a hard one to say if this can ever get past a licensing issues, especially because you got CM Punk in the game. So obviously there's issues there. Macho Man Randy Savage, who passed away. You know, you got the Andre the Giant and all that stuff. Even though the WWE owns all those names, it would be great to have it, but we haven't seen really any WWE games become backwards compatible. Yeah, CM Punk's a cunt. But here's hoping maybe we can get All-Stars. I think that was a very interesting game. A little tough to play sometimes, but fun. I really want to play that one again, or else at least make another All-Stars, because it was great. Trials Evolution. Again, we got a lot of Trials games out there. The original is backwards compatible. You got Fusion. There's another Trials coming next year. How come we don't have Evolution? And one of the best parts about it was the fact that you could create your own tracks, share them online, not just tracks, but all different types of games that you could create using the materials that they had, and create your own games and share them online. Surprisingly, this hasn't happened. I don't know why. This is a very popular Trials game, probably better than any of the others that are out there right now. So hoping to see this happen. It's kind of like its own Excite Bike and everything, so if you're a fan of it, you should definitely check out Trials. Finally, Shank. Shank 2 is backwards compatible, which is a platformer, very violent platformer, where you can use all sorts of different weapons. And we have games like Mark of the Ninja and stuff like that, but yet we don't. And we have Shank 2, which is backwards compatible, but yet still don't have the first one. So I'd love to see the first one come back. That shit was violent as fuck, and it was a great game. Excite Bike is a great game. Dude, I play that on my Nintendo Switch, or I play it on the NES Classic. They got Excite Bike on there, and it's just fantastic. There's even an arcade version of Excite Bike that has extra tracks, but I just play the NES version, which is a lot of fun. But there you go. Just a little idea of some back compact games, guys. Throw them up in the chat if you're looking at other games that should be backwards compatible, or maybe if PlayStation can do something with backwards compatibility. Obviously, they're not going to be able to, or maybe they just have to put it on PlayStation Now, which I'm hearing is doing very well. So good for them on that. But the Game Pass for Xbox has been phenomenal. So there you go. Getting to these NFL picks, we're going to get to the NFL picks real quick before we get into Red Dead and Call of Duty. And we're going to talk Walking Dead here tonight. So a lot to get into here. So but I'm going to get into my picks here for Week 10. What jersey am I wearing on Sunday at Lambeau Field? I'm going to let you guys know on that one, too. I will pull it out, and you guys will see what I'm wearing at Lambeau this weekend. So starting out, we got a Thursday night game tonight. Panthers, Steelers. Steelers are coming in at a 3.5-point favorite in this game at home at Heinz Field. Yes, Carolina has been struggling. But then again, you know, Pittsburgh, they got their issues too. But having them at home at Heinz Field is going to be a weird situation, I think, for Carolina. So I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers to go ahead and take this game tonight. Even though they're struggling, Carolina's struggling, I'm going to go with the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. I did very well last week, by the way. I was 13-1 the week before. This past week, I think I only lost like 3 games. 3 games. So there you go. 11-3 last week. So just to kind of give you guys an idea. And 13-1 the week before. Sunday. Let's get to the Sunday ones. Detroit and Chicago. The Bears, 6.5 right now on Detroit. Pittsburgh, by the way, they're leading. 14-7. There you go. 11-2. There you go, Alpha. This is a great NFC North matchup. as we expect, anytime with the NFC North, it's a wide open race right now. And the Bears are on top. And they've been playing very well, you know. But I feel like in the NFC North, sometimes they meet their match. But in this case, they're in Chicago. They're at Soldier Field against Detroit. This is not in the Dome. I like the Bears in this one. I think the Bears will continue their run, although I think there's going to be some issues where things are going to slow down for Chicago coming up. So for the Bears right now, rack them up the win, 6.5 point favorite at home. I'm going to take the Bears in this game. The New Orleans Saints versus the Cincinnati Bengals. New Orleans a 5.5 point favorite on the road against Cincinnati. It's hard for me to not stop the Saints fucking wagon right now. So I'm going to stick with the Saints. I mean, this one's a no-brainer. I'm going to take them even on the road. And the reason is usually at home they're a bit more dominant. On the road they might struggle a little bit. But shit, man. I'm going to still stick with the Saints on this one. They're on fire, man. It just literally are. I just hope that their win over the Rams didn't hurt them that much. Atlanta and Cleveland. In Cleveland, Atlanta 5.5. Sticking with the Falcons. Sorry, Cleveland. You're just not ready yet. Not ready yet. So that's what I could say on that. New England, Tennessee, Patriots 6.5 point favorite on the road against Tennessee. Tennessee has been a little up and down this year. They're starting to get a little momentum, and then they lose it, and then they get it back. Tennessee's kind of that weird team. New England, though, they're on a roll right now. They just are. It's the worst part for any fan is to know when the Patriots go on a roll. And if you looked at them last week against Green Bay, no surprise there as they beat my Packers, man. I was fucking pissed. But Patriots, yeah, they're going to beat the Titans in this one. This is a good week for favorites, by the way. I don't think there's many underdogs really this week that are really going to do anything special. Except for this one. Jacksonville and Indianapolis. Indy a 3-point favorite at home. The problem with Indy is there's really no action on this game. Indy being a 3-point favorite right now is the typical, hey, if you're at home, we're going to give you 3 points. But when no action is really happening, it just seems to stick that way. But the Jaguars really need this game right now. And to really get back to any type of momentum that they had last year. And I'm going to take Jacksonville as the underdog to win this game. Arizona and Kansas City. God, you know what? That's the Chiefs. Chiefs are a 16.5 point favorite in that game. How is Kansas City going to lose to Arizona? Arizona sucks this year. They are fucking horrible. So, as far as I'm concerned, Chiefs got that one. Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Jets very lethargic, not very good. They look terrible. Although, didn't really give up that many points against the Miami Dolphins, but yet still lost. Buffalo has been pathetic this year. So I expect one of these pathetic scoring games. So I just don't see anything good coming out of this except the Jets will probably win this one because I feel like the Bills are just going to go ahead and tank at this stage and get a high draft pick. That's the best thing for the Buffalo Bills right now. Season's over. There's nothing they're playing for other than pride. Washington and Tampa Bay game, again, it's not getting a lot of attention. Tampa Bay, a 3-point favorite at home against Washington. And let's face it, I think the Fitzmagic is going to continue. And I'm going to take Tampa Bay at home. Chargers and the Raiders as we get into the late games here for Sunday. Chargers and Raiders, as we all know, Chargers are a 9.5 point favorite against an Oakland team that has basically given up this year. They're not going to do anything. I'm going to take the Chargers here. These late games have really high spreads. They really do. All right, here we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this one for the end for the Dolphins and Packers. We'll save that for the end. So let's go Seahawks and the Rams. Rams 9.5 point favorite at home against Seattle. I'm going to go the Rams, man. There's no way they're losing that game. No way. Tough loss for them against the Saints. They're going to bounce back against the Seahawks that are on the road. And usually on the road, the Seahawks don't do very well. Cowboys in Philadelphia on the Sunday night game. Philadelphia, 7-point favorite. Dallas is not looking very good. Anyone who watched them this past Monday night. Eagles are a 7-point favorite, and I'm taking the Eagles on Sunday night. Monday night, the Giants and 49ers in a game that no one's going to give a shit about because both teams are pathetic. The 49ers are a 3-point favorite at home. The Giants have just been horrific, period. For San Francisco, they've done a little bit better lately, and I'm going to stick with the 49ers. All right, last one. Dolphins, Packers. Why I'm here for one last weekend here in Green Bay. As the snow is getting ready to start falling here, I am a Miami Dolphin guy through and through. I grew up with the Miami Dolphins. I grew up with Marino. I grew up watching football in Miami for the longest time. I'm kind of a little bit more new to the Green Bay stuff and being a Green Bay fan. And as a Miami fan, being accepted by the Green Bay Packers has been an amazing thing for me. The fans have embraced the fact to say, hey, man, you're a Dolphins fan. That's cool. We like you here. You don't give shit, you know? You're not a Patriots fan. You're not a Cowboy fan. You're not a Giants fan. You're not Minnesota or Detroit or anything like that. You know, you go down the list, you know? So you're well accepted within the fans. Yes, the Dolphins will get booed Sunday. That's expected. You're in Lambeau Field. But the fans will be like, oh, that's cool, man. You're all right. We have no problem with you. Green Bay have some of the nicest fans in the NFL. And, yeah, we're just starting to snow now, Gina. We really are. We're going to get about at least 3 inches here of snow. And a shriveled up dick. No, but the fans have been very nice. They've welcomed me in with open arms as a fan. I've been here now for about, 2 years, and it's been an amazing ride. And I'm still going to be coming back up here, having a great time. But getting to the game itself, Green Bay the last 2 weeks, they should have beat the Rams, which is, I think everybody knows. The Patriot game, they held in with them until about the fourth quarter. And everything fell apart from there, which has kind of been the Packers' theme for the past 2 weeks, is the fourth quarter just really hurt them. But as I said, the Rams game with under 2 minutes to go, we all know who should have kneeled the ball in the end zone and given the ball to Aaron Rodgers to let him win the game because the Rams' defense wasn't stopping the Packers at all. But, Patriots, they found a way. Now Miami comes in. Miami, 5-4 this year. And I look at teams with winning records, and Miami has been one of the worst teams with a winning record right now. They have been awful. And people are going to look back at the Jet game where they secured 4 interceptions, okay, and held the Jets to what, 6 points, 2 field goals? Obviously, the defense looked great, but they were playing the Jets. They were playing the fucking Jets. It was expected for Miami to win. And if you look at all the games Miami played this year, they beat only one team, 2 teams with a winning record right now. Tennessee in the first game of the season, and then they beat the Bears in overtime. So, again, very hard to judge because Miami's got some big losses this year too. But on the road, in a cold weather game, does not favor the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins in games that are under 35 degrees, they do not win. And that is the situation we're coming into for a late game on Sunday night, where the temperatures will be in the low 30s and dipping towards the 20s, and we might see some snow. So in that situation, this does not favor the Miami Dolphins. They do have some games where they played in the snow and won, like the Pittsburgh game a few years ago. But in this situation against Green Bay, the top 10 offense for the Packers, Dolphins pretty good in terms of pass defense, but this is Aaron Rodgers. It's just not going to happen. And a 9.5-point favorite of the Green Bay Packers at home in Lambeau, the Green Bay Packers are going to beat Miami. It might be a little closer than 9.5, but then again, they could blow them out too. So, big question. Whose jersey am I wearing on Sunday? And chances are members of my family are going to see this. Is it Green Bay or is it Miami? Let's take a second. I'm going to show you which one. All right, Here we go. Whose jersey am I wearing on Sunday? It's time to make the reveal. We all been waiting for this. My brother's been waiting for this. So here we go. Ta-da! It will be a Miami jersey on Sunday in my Dan Marino throwback. So I will be wearing Miami colors this Sunday at Lambeau for the first time in a long, long time. But I'm going to need a hat Sunday. Gonna need a hat. And it will be the Green Bay Packers. That's the way it's going to be on Sunday, half and half. We're going half and half for this game. I'm going to be neutral, but I'm going to enjoy fucking football. So, Dolphins jersey, Packers hat, and that's how we're going to do it. Does this mean I get the Packers jersey, right? Sure, Gina, just for you. Yes, the Marino jersey is a throwback to 1984. That is a 1984 Dan Marino throwback, straight out of Mitchell and Ness, by the way. Guys, check out Mitchell and Ness. I'm throwing a free plug here tonight. You think maybe I could get sponsored by Mitchell and Ness, because that would be pretty freaking cool. But check out a lot of their gear. They just got camo jerseys in right now. Not the new ones that they have for this year, which I've sported the Packers Aaron Rodgers one this season. Oh, man. This season. But they got some camo jerseys. They got all sorts of throwbacks. So if you love throwbacks, check out Mitchell and Ness. There you go. Free plug for Mitchell and Ness, everybody. I'm going to have a great time at the game. My brother's here on Saturday, and we're going to party out in Green Bay. Knowing that the game is now a late start instead of the early game. Originally, it was going to be at 12 o'clock. Now at 3:25 Central. I'm looking forward to partying it out. Take him on the crawl to all the different bars out here, right around the stadium. So, yeah, my brother's going to get fucked up. I mean, pretty much. So it's going to be a wild weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. That's why you're not going to really see me on any shows or anything like that. I'm spending the time with him. We might catch a movie over the weekend during the early part of the day on Saturday. We're thinking Bohemian Rhapsody because I'm really excited to watch the Bohemian Rhapsody movie. And then there's another movie I want to catch called Overlord, which I might catch on the way back home. And hopefully maybe I'll have some reviews next week of those movies. So I'm really looking forward to that as the days go on. But so there you go. Looking forward to the games, obviously. Wearing Dolphins tonight. We're Dolphins Sunday. I'll fake out my brother on Saturday with some Green Bay stuff. But it's all in good fun. And this is the first time he's going to be at Lambeau Field. It'll actually be my 13th game at Lambeau. So there you go. 13 games, and I'm wearing the Marino 13. So, but good luck to the Packers and to the Dolphins on Sunday. As I said, I'm picking Green Bay to win. No surprise there. All right. Let's talk about some games. 2 games I really want to get into. And the first one I'm going to get into is Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead has been nothing short of absolutely fantastic. It has been a great game that I played back in 2010 of the original. And here we are 8 years later playing the sequel, which is kind of a prequel to the events of the first game. Even though John Marston is in here and you're playing as Arthur Morgan and you're fighting through the Old West. And if you guys have been watching my videos, we just got into one of the towns of Valentine, and I started running around. I got into a drunken stupor in the last episode, in episode 3. So if you guys watch part 3, one of the missions was to go get drunk with one of my buddies. And it's almost like I was hallucinating for a second. And I'm like, oh, and you just see him getting drunk over and over and over again. And he's calling on his buddy, Lenny! Lenny! And all of a sudden, all the characters that were in the saloon started looking like Lenny. And you're thinking it's him. And then you're like, no, this ain't Lenny. And then you see their real face, and it's like, oh, my God. You're searching for this guy the whole time. And I got into a bar fight during that time. I got arrested for being drunk. So I thought that was pretty funny. So we had that moment. The gunplay is very good in this game, as great as it was in the first one. So we're seeing the gunplay very well in this one. What's up, Vikings fan? How you been, man? Good to see you tonight. Basically, like, The horse, I have not slapped a horse. I've been told to punch a horse. I have not done that yet. I know Gina's waiting for me to do that. And I think when I get deeper into the free roam, that's going to happen, where I got to punch a horse. So I have a feeling, I have a bad feeling that I know what's going to happen, but it's going to be pretty ugly. Which game has better humor, GTA 5 or Red Dead 2? Ooh, that's tough. GTA 5 is pretty funny, I admit, but Red Dead, holy cow, has got some hilarious moments in it. It really does. And sometimes it's the hilarious moments that people like you and me create that make that game better. The same thing we can do in GTA. Like they had in GTA 5 where there's an element where it was like you were skydiving out of a plane and you're fully freaking hallucinating, which is hilarious as fuck. Mongo like punching, yeah, that's Blake. But the moments that you have in Red Dead are the moments you create, and a lot of times things get really, really funny, or they get serious. Some of the gunplay moments get pretty funny. You might come across a glitch once in a while, things that they still have to work out because the game is not perfect. It's got its issues, where things can happen. I've seen people fall out of a screen or glitch out completely. And when I mean fall out of the screen, all of a sudden you see everything of the terrain above them, and they're just falling below. Like it just completely fell out of the picture, and I thought it was hilarious. But some of the moments, it's not perfect. I'm not saying it's a Bethesda game where it's buggy as fuck, like the Fallout 76 demo has been. And by the way, I canceled Fallout 76 on my Xbox, so I'm not going to be doing Fallout 76 on my channel, unfortunately. But I would say probably Red Dead's a little funnier at the moment, but it's not by much. I would probably say it's pretty equal there, Luke. It's really hard to say, but graphically it's stunning. Looking at the environments is great. You could switch it to a cinematic perspective and let see everything around you, and just the detail that they put in the game. And I'm playing on Xbox One X, and when I get home, I'll be playing it in 4K, which is going to be absolutely amazing. But even in 1080p right now, the game looks phenomenal. And that was one of the things I got to give them. The story is very well done, even though in the beginning it's very slow. It's one of the big nagging issues about Red Dead 2 is that in the early portion of the game, before you get to free roam, it's a very slow build. And Red Dead Redemption 1, you didn't have it that much. You had a little bit more free roam a bit earlier in the game, whereas in this one, there's a lot of story elements, and it feels like a more extended tutorial. And once you get past that part and you finally get into some free roam, the game is a lot better. So in free roam, great. When you're cornered into a story, it's a slow going. I feel like that's the only real drawback to this title. Other than that, it's great. It's a must-buy. If you guys have been waiting until Black Friday to pick it up, don't wait too long on it. Definitely get the game. I don't know if it would even be on sale on Black Friday. I don't think there's any Black Friday ads showing Red Dead 2. Not even Spider-Man or, stuff like that. So I don't know if it's going to be on sale, but if it is, pick it up. Definite buy. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. Stream the game, live stream it. Share some experiences that you're playing. Some people have really done that. And even one that was shrouded in controversy, which I'm going to bring up right now. There was a YouTuber whose name is Shirako, who had some videos up on YouTube taken down because a lot of the SJW started complaining about what he was doing in the game. And one of the things he was doing is there's a feminist character that is talking about the women's right to vote. Remember, the game takes place in the Old West. So in the Old West, or back in those days, we're talking 1899. Women didn't have the right to vote back then. But you did have women going out there saying, we want the right to vote, same thing as the men, stuff like that. And one of the reasons he said that what he was doing is he took out the feminists. I mean, straight up right freaking hooked her. Took her out completely. Hogtied her. Put her on her horse. Took him out, and not on a horse. Dragged her out to the swamp. and into the swamp. Here's this alligator. So he drops her right in front of the alligator so that the alligator gets her. And then there were so many other ways he decided to pull off moves against this feminist character. And he said the reason he did it is because the feminist character is very annoying. And there were portions of the game where he's trying to hear conversation, and all you heard was the feminist woman talking about the right, I need the right to vote, and all that. And he took it out. Yeah, it seems a bit much, right? Let's go back to Red Dead Redemption 1, where there was an achievement where you were able to go ahead and hogtie a female character, put her on the railroad tracks, and have her run over by a train. And it was an achievement. You got an achievement for it. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. It was like being, like, what was it, Snidely Whiplash kind of thing, kind of moment. And I thought that was really cool, and you were able to do that. And you could do it in this game, too. Because he did a video with that and have her killed by an alligator, eaten by pigs, and all sorts of stuff. Well, unfortunately, I think the SJWs all of a sudden said, oh, no, we can't have this. And YouTube took down the videos. Just struck his channel completely, ending him. And the rest of us kind of got into an uproar and said, well, wait a minute. This isn't right. Okay? This isn't right at all to take down someone's channel who is playing a game in a fictitious world with a fictitious character who took out another fictitious character in different ways. But see, people look at it saying, we can't hurt the woman. We can't hurt the woman. All right? We can't do that. We got to protect the woman. Right? I mean, honestly, this is stupid because look at all the games in the past where we've done things like Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 3 is a good example where I would go into the red light district, I'd pick up a hooker, take her in the corner, have the way with her in the car, which was just two people sitting in the car, and the car's going, you know, and you're thinking you're getting laid, kind of thing, which is funny because when you really look at it and you move the camera around, they're just sitting there. And next thing you know, she gets out of the car, she's taking your money and giving you health again. I pull out my baseball bat and I beat her down and take my money back. But no one complained about that. Right? GTA 4 did the same thing. Right? Like even in GTA 3, they have gay characters in the game where they can sit there and say, there's a place you can go, or you can ride the 7 seas, you know, all that stuff, and you were able to beat down that character, and it was like a bunch of gay guys running around. Was that a big deal? No. It was part of the game. And then, you know, like I mentioned, the original Red Dead Redemption, where you know, you could take a woman, hog tie her, put her on the railroad tracks, and have her run over by a train. Did anyone complain about that? No. But yet, all of a sudden, here we are in 2018, and now everything is not okay. Note to self, never play a game with Brian as a woman. See you, Gina. But you could... You know, we do a lot of stuff in a game that is fictitious, we don't do in real life, and, you know, a lot of us are sensitized enough to know that we can separate real life from fiction. That's the best way I could put it. A video game versus real life, okay? And in real life, obviously, if we did stuff like that, there are consequences. But yet, in a video game, you really don't have consequences. You can do whatever you want. Okay, which I know some females out there saying, oh, it's the male fantasy. But we can do whatever we want in a game without really much of any consequence. But we know that whatever we do in a video game, we're not going to do out in the middle of a street. But all of a sudden, what we do in a video game has to be criticized because we got to protect the woman. It's ridiculous. It really is. And the good news is that enough complaints were put out to YouTube. The channel was restored. So he got all his videos back, which he had like 8,000 videos were put back on. They were rolled back in. So he's got his channel back. The videos are up there for you to go watch. So a lot of people have been watching it. I think the one that he did with the alligator got like 1.6 billion views. I think billion. Or it might be a million, whatever it is. It went viral like crazy, and it still is now. And I watched it this morning. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great, you know, because it's an NPC character. It's not that big of a deal. But when people are making big deals about all this stuff, you really have to start rethinking your life. For people that are complaining like that, rethink your life. Look in a mirror. For years, this stuff's been going on, and no one said a word. But now they want to say something like it's a bad thing. It's a video game. Get over it. That's what I have to say to those people. Just get over it. It's not that big of a fucking deal. It really is. I spent so much time talking about this one thing that it's just one small moment, like not even 1% of what things you can do in the game, which is practically anything you want. Be the cowboy you always want to be. And that's the thing I like about Red Dead Redemption, or even in GTA. Be the biggest criminal you ever want to be. There's no consequence. Do whatever you want. What's up, okay, Fabe? I feel like that's what we need to do. And just, video games are an escape and a release for us to just, take the pressures of our day away is a great thing. A lot of times if I have a bad day at work, I sit in and play Mortal Kombat or something, makes me feel a little bit better. Not like I'm going to go kill somebody out on the street. No, I'm just going to be like, okay, I feel a little bit better. My stress, any type of stress I had is released. I feel good. Let's go and enjoy whatever I got going on, at home or whatever. What's up, deity? But that's kind of the idea. I feel like it's a good escape for me, and that's why I enjoy doing it, whether I stream it, whether I'm recording it and putting it out online for you guys. Whatever I can do is to entertain you guys. That's what it's about. So, by the way, live streaming returning next week on Twitch. Make sure you guys are on my Twitch, _Himmelgod. We're going to have Red Dead Redemption and more going on that channel next week. So make sure you guys check that out. So there you go. Little shameless plug to my Twitch. But overall, Red Dead is fantastic. It's a great game. Buy it. You're not going to go wrong. I'm not going to steer you the wrong way. It's definitely a great game worth checking out. So there you go. Red Dead Redemption 2, awesome. I would say it's definitely in my top 5. Fat Jew and George. I'm not fat, but I don't know what you're talking about, Luke, but thanks. But it's going to make that into a title of a video. Thanks a lot, Luke. Oh, man. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yeah, that's going to be awesome, Deity. Thank you for bringing that up. That's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that. I got the collector's edition. I'm waiting for that in January. But I think it's January. Yeah, I think it is January for Resident Evil 2 Remake. But let me get to the other one, Black Ops 4. And I know in the past few episodes, in a few episodes, I have talked about it a bit. But the game is out there. I've been playing it for a while. I'm having some fun with it. I can't say that I'm having total fun with it. So I'm kind of like a seesaw where I got the points that I like, and then there's stuff I don't like. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of round it out for you. As we all know, this is a multiplayer-based game. No single-player campaign. It's got 3 modes. Blackout, which is your battle royale. You got your standard multiplayer. And then, of course, you got zombies. Zombies, which is my favorite thing to do. Not even slightly out of shape, Luke. What are you talking about? He's trolling. Here we go. Luke is trolling everybody. We'll talk about that in a minute there. Real Dave Doherty bringing that up. What's up, Beard Gang? But the zombies is one of my favorite things to do in it. Killing out waves and waves of zombies while playing out a story. It does feel a bit like go fetch items and shit like that, which is something I'm used to. But I feel like in zombies, it's a little too much go fetch because obviously there's multiple Easter eggs to uncover in the game. But I love the gunplay with it. I love the whole zombie storyline. Treyarch, when it comes to zombies, is one of the best. And everyone else is just that's doing Call of Duty games are trying to catch up to where Treyarch is. So that's been a big issue. They just can't compare to what they're doing. You look at World War II or even Infinite Warfare, and then all of a sudden they're releasing, Zombies Chronicles and bringing back the old maps for us to play on a Black Ops 3. It was like, no matter what, if you were playing World War II or you were playing Infinite Warfare, it didn't matter because Treyarch says, well, look, here's Zombies Chronicles, because the other Call of Duty games weren't doing very well. So they threw that out there, and people ran to like gangbusters, like me. I love that shit. And now this year, we know that they're going to support this game for 3 years, especially for zombies. 3 years. Now, you're going to see a lot of stuff on my channel, especially with zombies. I haven't done much on it right now because I'm really still figuring some stuff out before I put a video up. So I am going to run some videos of zombies because it's my favorite mode to play. And if anyone has the game, especially if you're playing on Xbox, let me know because I want you to join in the game with me. But the cool part is, with this mode, is that you could set up bots to play. You could set different mutators, so you can customize the game any way you want, which is something for us as zombies fans we've been wanting for the longest time. And they went out and did that, and it was freaking amazing. That's why I love zombies so much, because they really cater to us. And gamer tag is Beard Gang. There you go, Beard Gang TV over on Xbox. Is that right, Beard Gang? Let me know, because I'm going to add you on there on the Xbox page. But, dude, I'm just crazy. I'm sitting here talking about zombies so much. I'm a zombies player. I'm going to be more of a zombies YouTuber, a zombie streamer when it comes to Call of Duty. There is a new map that might be on the way very soon. It's expected to be Nuketown. It looks like we're going to get Nuketown as a free update, which is going to come as a multiplayer map as well as a zombies map, is from what I'm hearing right now. Double tier starting tomorrow, and the plasma as well is going to be double. So that's a cool thing. They're going to, because it's one of my downfalls with the game when I get into it in a minute. Blackout, I think, is pretty good. However, I feel like with PUBG, a lot of people rather would still play PUBG. And Blackout, I kind of heard a lot of up and down. I have played it. It's okay. I don't think it's phenomenal. I don't think it's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I still look at PUBG and say I'd rather still play PUBG. I think Joe Cronin is the same way on this, where he pretty much said, I'd rather play PUBG, and that's how I feel. And yeah, you're right, it is playable after the updates. You're absolutely correct. The only pain in the ass on my Xbox, it keeps reloading the entire fucking game every time it wants to do an update. So I have no idea why the hell it does it, but that's what it does. But Blackout, it's okay. I just can't think it's that great. It's still Call of Duty, first person. I love the fact you can use all sorts of different vehicles, but I feel like it's a game where, as a solo player, it's not as good solo, but it's better, obviously, if you play duos and if you play squad. And if you play squad and you're all in a fucking helicopter and you're just taking people out, it's awesome. Yes, I have canceled my Fallout 76 pre-order TSS. I did. I mentioned that earlier, that I did cancel it. I am not going to be doing it. I'll just do single-player Fallout games on my channel. Obviously, I got 3, I got New Vegas, and I got 4. And I'll play those games instead because they're more fun. Definitely a lot more fun based on, because everything I played in the beta was terrible. So there you go. Soul Calibur 6 is awesome, Deity. You're absolutely correct. If you haven't got Soul Calibur 6, watch for that in Black Friday. You might see a deal there with that game. But the multiplayer as well. So Blackout's okay. I'd rather play PUBG. But multiplayer, the problem I have with multiplayer right now is obviously the campers are learning where to camp. And some of the maps, there's very few maps in there. What's up, Joe? What's up? Renegade's in here. Renegade Joe Compton in the house. What's up, man? There's very few maps right now. The campers are finding the right spots to camp. The mode I play right now, the most right now, is Kill Confirmed. And I like that one because you have to collect the dog tags. Not just take the player out, but get their dog tag as well. And then, of course, you could deny the other team their dog tags. So it's a nice higher scoring game that I would sit and play. And it lasts a little bit longer than your typical team deathmatch or free-for-all and stuff like that. But as I said, very few maps right now. There isn't that many. I want to say there's like 4 maps right now. And I might be wrong on that, but right now I'm kind of counting at least 4. And sometimes you're playing the same map twice in a row before you get to something else. And it's kind of annoying because it's just the limited amount of maps you have to play. As I said, looks like there's a Nuketown map coming up. The weapons, though, are very good. They take some of the best weapons they've ever had in Black Ops. They put them in the game. They're great. I think the gunplay is still very good. Yeah, I have seen some recoil in the weapons, so it's not like it feels a bit more grounded in that realism a little bit. Compared to the lighter arcadey style. It's still a bit arcadey, but still. The weapons are a bit better in this game. You still have the slide. But they take away the wall running and all the other bullshit that we had in 3 and give us a game with boots on the ground. And they've done a pretty good job with it. I think the characters still need to be better balanced, is one of my big issues with this game. I do play as a couple classes right now. Ruin I play as a lot, and the Firebrand. So, hey, what's up, Sir Cardinal? Hey, everybody shout out to the Sir Cardinal here, man. Awesome. Oh, you got cheat codes for Red Dead Redemption 2. Uh-oh, Renegade Joe Compton has cheat codes. Here we go. Yeah, I couldn't stand the wall running. It drove me up a wall. I think the only game where I'm okay with the wall running is Titanfall 2, because it seems to fit for that style of game. So I don't mind the wall running and shit in that one, because then you get in giant fucking mechs and just kick people's asses, so it's even more fun. But now if they only had like a mode where you could play offline, you know, and do shit like that. But the one thing I got to give them is that there's a lot of creativity here. There's a lot of ways you can customize your gameplay experience. So it's one of the things in Black Ops they realized, dude, if we're going to put this game out and not have a shit ton of stuff in it, customization was key. And they did that by being able to customize the game the way you want to play it and grow with that and get better. And you know, zombies is a big example. Multiplayer, they've always had that, but I love the fact you can still customize. The other thing I like is they got rid of the loot boxes, sort of. The supply drops have been a big issue. Now they're called reserves, but they're locked up in a tier system. And this is one of my other problems with Black Ops right now is this tier system is very slow to level up in the tier system. It takes forever. Some people say, oh, just play Blackout. You'll get it faster. But that's not always necessarily true. You do a little bit better. But I feel like in multiplayer, if you go, it took me hours just to go up like maybe 2 or 3 tiers. Shit, man, I play fucking Fortnite and I can tier up faster than what you can do in Black Ops. It's a little ridiculous. Add on the fact that the tiering system is only for Blackout and the multiplayer. But what about zombies? Why is zombies left out? You know, that doesn't make sense. I feel like that if you're going to have a tier system, have it for all the game modes. Maybe a lot of people feel like, oh, but some people can play zombies for a half hour, an hour, and tier up faster. Well, then you got to work the system a little bit. But I feel like that zombies players are left out, and that pisses me off. So the tier system, I think, needs a lot of work. Jada's back. But that's one of my big gripes. Tier system, fix that shit. Because they need to get it to the point where earning stuff is something they want people to get. But I know they're hiding it behind the microtransactions a little, where if you spend like $1, you can tier up each time. They gave season pass players 1,000 freaking credits, which can level you up 10 tiers. And that's like, okay, yeah, but is it really necessary? Because a lot of the good shit that you would want to get, especially like a signature weapon, you have to get at least level 50. So once you get there, and the next signature weapon, I think, is at level 200. Or if you want a really cool character for the Blackout mode, there's one at like 170, 180. I think Dutch is one of them. That's like at 198 or something like that. I mean, come on, man. Most of us have lives. Like, I have a life, man. I can't sit there and go up 200 fucking tiers. Or did you want me to spend $200 to go ahead and do that? That's dumb. So they need to fix this system to make it fucking work. All right? So that I can get cool shit. And the other thing in these supply drops, there's no camos right now. I guess they're saying they're going to have some camos in the future. But right now, it's more like character customization. And I feel like, okay, that's nice and all, but I'd rather have the weapons, camos, the cooler shit. I don't care if I put face paint on a character or an outfit for a character. Give me something that's worthwhile to earn, like Fortnite does, and I think it would be a little bit more entertaining. So they got a lot of work to do to fix the tier system, but also allow zombies players to tier up in that system as well. They need to do that. Treyarch is making a lot of adjustments with the tier system, with the reserves, which are those supply drops, that if you get a dupe, which, by the way, you can get dupes with these reserves, and they have a system there on the bottom of the screen. You'll see it. that if every 3 dupes, they give you a guaranteed reserve that's not a dupe. Honestly, if you're going to do bullshit like that, it kind of sucks that if you get up to another tier that you worked so hard to get to and the item you get is dog shit, you know, or something like that. It's terrible. They give you some calling cards. I'm like, whatever, that's nothing special, but give me camos, give me signature weapons. We're getting some signature weapons, but I don't want to spend $50 right now to get a gun. That's an issue right now. They need to fix it and make it better. Obviously, this double tier weekend they're going to have, it's going to help a little bit, but they need to fix the problem and include zombies players into this game. Overall, though, I will say Black Ops, it's enjoyable for what it is. Zombies, obviously, is my favorite thing to do, and then multiplayer is like whatever. You know, it's there to be there. But overall, it's pretty good, but only if you're a Call of Duty fan. If you're a big Call of Duty fan, then get the game. If you're a big Zombies fan, especially for Treyarch, then get the game. But for everybody else, you know, wait for a sale. Obviously, I would probably wait for a sale. Obviously, I think there's going to be a sale for Black Friday on Black Ops 4. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it at a cheaper price. I think someone flashed it up on a screen and said $35. So, you know, better than 60, but at least they're going to throw a bone to some people. I ended up picking up the one for like 120, so it gave me the 8,500 COD points and some Nebulian Plasma and a whole bunch of other stuff. The Season Pass, which gives me a 4th zombie map right now, which is Classified, which is a remake of 5, which is awesome. I love playing that, even though the characters, when they put their voices in the game, I kind of question it because they went more for comedy than they went for a seriousness factor. So I was kind of weirded out by that, especially from Takio. You could tell, like, some of the things he's talking about, like upset stomachs and all this other stuff. I'm like, no, that's not what we're here for. What happened to, you know, 115 and, you know, and all that stuff? I want to hear more about that. So they did great with Blood of the Dead, which is awesome, which is a remake of Mob of the Dead. And even the new Chaos Crew is not that bad either. I don't mind playing on the Titanic or playing in a Roman Coliseum. That's pretty cool shit. So overall, Zombies great. Everything else, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So there's my feelings on that game. Obviously, we've been talking games here in the chat, mentioned Fallout and a couple others. But I want to get to this one last topic before we get going here for today, and that is The Walking Dead. We're going to talk The Walking Dead here. I will be having spoilers here of The Walking Dead, so beware of that. There are some spoilers coming up. If you haven't watched lately, if you haven't watched the latest episode, there's going to be some spoilers coming because we're going to talk about at least the next 3 episodes of what could be happening in The Walking Dead. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the season so far, and shut up, Elias. No spoilers from you. Shout out to Elias, everybody. But I'm going to give it a chance here, and let's give it a 10-second countdown for anyone that does not want to hear spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers, come back in about 10 minutes. So here's your countdown right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Spoiler, they all turn into zombies and eat each other. Thank you, Gina. She spoiled it for everybody. All right, everybody back now. No. What do I think this year of The Walking Dead so far? We're 5 episodes in. We had the final 5 episodes for Rick, but also the final 5 episodes for Maggie as well. They've been so focused on the end for Rick, but a lot of people didn't realize that Maggie's last episodes, Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie, was also her last episodes, except Maggie's character will be back. Unlike Rick's character, where you just don't know when he's going to be back. Because, spoiler alert, Rick lives. He did not die. All right? We all know this now. Rick did not die. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the game in a second. I've been hearing up and downs about it, Dave. A lot of ups and downs for Overkill's The Walking Dead, I think you're talking about, right? The Telltale one is still going to be fine. They're going to make the last 2 episodes. So, we're still excited about that. Because it's going to be done through a different company. Through Skybound, who's going to be doing the last 2 Telltale episodes, which are mostly done. But Overkill's The Walking Dead, before I get into AMC, I don't know about the game, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of downs about it lately. A lot of people have been complaining about it. So it's something I'm going to have to wait and see for a bit. I'm going to wait for reviews and some gameplay videos and see what people think after the game is out before I can make a choice on that one. Some of this stuff I'm really interested in, but there's some issues where I don't think it's going to be as good as everybody's going to think it is. So it's an up and down. I got to see what some other players are looking at and how they're playing the game, and I'll figure it out from there. But we'll keep an eye on it. As far as the Telltale stuff, obviously I have the whole season for it, and I'm going to be still doing that. A lot of Telltale coming up on my channel on Twitch coming up in the coming weeks, especially The Walking Dead. So there you go. But anyway, Rick didn't die. And if you remember the character of Jadis, who is still alive, the helicopter came to come pick her up. Yes, you can join, Elias. You'll be able to join in the Telltale stuff. You can help make the decisions with me. But the helicopter came to pick her up, and remember the helicopter pilot saying, you need to have an A, or you have an A or a B, which is something they've been talking about since last season and coming into this season. They mentioned the A and the B. What's an A? What's a B? And when the helicopter comes to pick her up, she finds Rick at the right along the river after he blew up the bridge that they've been building so far this season. And she says, I don't have an A, I have a B. And the big question is, what's an A? What's a B? I mean, like, what? No one still knows what this means. Some people have said, I think one of the showrunners has said that the B, if you're a B, it's considered you're a before, and in an A, you're an after, which is something that's come up. So after you've been bitten, that you're going to become one of the dead, and a B is you're not one of them. Now, you're a B, you are ready to go, and if you're not ready to go, was another thought that was kind of brought up. So it was like wondering, what's an A, what's a B? And he showed this, where in Jadis, in her little junk town area, she would have the trailer where you would see a marking for A and a marking for B. So she was deciding who was A's, who was B's eventually. So we know about the helicopter and where it might lead to, and a lot of people have been saying it's the Commonwealth. Some people say there's a base with people in Ohio that's been brought up. That's what I'm starting to lead to, because the Rick character, obviously for Andrew Lincoln, not dead, but they're going to have a trilogy featuring Rick. So I thought this was a great idea. They're going to have 3 movies for Rick, and it's kind of going to tie the gap of what we've seen towards the end of this last episode. A is for apple, B is for banana. There you go. But in this last episode, if you caught it right at the end, there's a time jump. And the time jump is 6 years. So this movie trilogy that they're going to do with Rick could be what takes place during those 6 years. And eventually we know that at some point, Andrew Lincoln's going to come back to The Walking Dead, maybe towards the end, maybe a reuniting with the characters. So maybe he reunites with Michonne, and then obviously with his daughter and stuff like that. And speaking of his daughter, there's been a lot of talk about the actress that's playing Judith Grimes, because we get to see asshole and bitch. A for asshole, B for bitch, says Elias. But in this portion of the show, we see Judith Grimes at 10 years old. All of a sudden, you remember we used to see memes of what Judith would be like, and she would be holding a freaking machine gun. You know, here's Judith, I'm age 7 with an AK-47 or an L. You know, she's sitting there with like in a turret or something like that. Times is going to be, but now we get to see her at 10 years old. We see this group. I think it's Magna's group that we see getting cornered, you know, surrounded by zombies. And then all of a sudden you're seeing gunshots go off, and a couple of these zombies go down, clearing a path for them to say, come on, come here. And you hear this girl telling, come here, come on, let's go. So they lead them to the way, and then they're like, who are you? And then they see the girl, and you see Judith Grimes with her father's Colt Python revolver and a mini katana and the hat. and she puts on the hat saying Judith Grimes. And then all of a sudden, it was like, holy shit. This is really cool. Seeing her with her father's gun and a mini katana, kind of like Michonne, and seeing that she's a survivor. Because you remember, she was born during this apocalypse. So all she really knows is this, compared to everybody else who's in the world. So I thought that was really interesting. And the show producers are really high on the Judith Grimes character, which I forget the actress that's playing her. It's Chelsea something. She looked badass in this episode. And they're going to time jump 6 years. And we're going to see a different look for all the characters. Michonne's going to look different. Yeah, she was part Rick, part Carl, and part Michonne. That is absolutely correct. And they say with her character, she's going to be like what Carl is supposed to be in. I was about to say Carl. She's going to be basically what Carl is in the comics. So that's what Judith is going to be. So she's going to be like the new Carl. And that's the role she's going to play. So I think that's very interesting. And we're going to see all the characters after 6 years where they've been. Carol finally taking the ring from Ezekiel. So all of a sudden, either she's engaged or she's married to Ezekiel. So we see that. Michonne becomes the leader in Alexandria, and Alexandria has become more prosperous. We see a windmill, homes being built. All of a sudden, it's very prosperous looking, and everything has gone well for them. You look at, so Carol married and all that stuff. Daryl looks like he's an outcast now, that he's away from all these settlements and is out on his own in the world, because they talk about episode 7 saying that Carol meets up with an old friend, and that's talking about Daryl. So Carol and Daryl coming together in episode 7. So we get to see how they look there. But the one cool thing that we're finally going to get is the Whisperers. We're going to finally get them. They've been teasing this for so long. The teaser trailers that we've seen over the summer talked about the Whisperers, and you hear them saying, "Where are they?" They have that little talk and sound like the walkers. So all of a sudden, you're going to have that whisper voice. It's awesome, dude. It's going to be so cool. And then we finally get to see them because they're wearing like faces, like a mask of the zombies. So they look like them. They walk like them. They imitate them perfectly. And then we're going to know two of them, one known as Alpha and another known as Beta, which made me start thinking of A and B. But obviously we're going to have Alpha and then we're going to have Beta. And Beta's a tall dude. I mean, we're going to see this really tall dude, and that's Beta. And then Alpha, who's a female character, is going to be the lead of the Whisperers. And this is going to be really cool because we've been waiting for this for so long that people saying, man, I missed the horror of The Walking Dead. Well, it looks like we're going to get the horror back again. We're going to have the walkers back again. But this time, humans dressed up as freaking walkers, the Whisperers. This is going to be exciting because this is a great time to sit and be a fan and say they're going a different direction. They did a huge time jump. We're still going to see all our favorite characters, and we're still going to see Negan. Negan is still plays a role here. Negan looked like he was all beat up in the last couple of episodes, if you think about it, because if you remember, they were going to kill Negan, and then all of a sudden you see Negan out of his element, and he's asking about Lucille, and part of it is like, okay, he was asking about the bat, and Michonne's like, well, it's out there somewhere, and But he also gives a little backstory, which is something we've been wanting to see, but I don't think we'll ever see it, is the backstory of Negan before the apocalypse, and you learn about who Lucille is, which is his wife, who died of cancer. So that was a big deal. That was something we always wanted to see, and we never got to see it. But he did talk about it in the episode with Maggie, because Maggie was coming to kill Negan for revenge on what happened to Glenn, and she decided not to kill him because it's not the same Negan that would tell people get on your knees and just beat the shit out of people. You know, the ruthless Negan that we saw, and you don't see that anymore. But I feel like in the comics, they talk about this a lot, is that Negan might escape from Alexandria and meet up with the Whisperers. And if that's the case, and he might get Lucille back, he might find Lucille again along the way, and we might see badass Negan once again. So kind of keep that in mind. He's still there. He's been in prison for 7 years. Now he might break free, and we'll see him with the Whisperers, because it does show that in the comics that he is around with them. So very interesting. I love the direction they're going to kind of do something different. You know, the big time jump was something we were expecting. We got a little bit of a time jump, but now we got this bigger time jump, and we get to see Judith, who's going to be a badass during the show. And of course, how everyone else is adapting and how things have changed. We're going to see that for the next 3 episodes that's when the mid-season finale ends. And then we'll get into the next 8 episodes early in 2019 to see how things end up. Because the Whisperers might be around for a little while. But as I said, the horror is back. We're going to get that horror again. We got a little bit of it already this year, where they had a focus on the walkers, which is something we wanted, the whole zombie experience. We got some of that back. So they did a very good job with that. And then who knows, maybe we might see a major character die. So that could still happen. But just so you know, sorry, Drew, Rick is not dead. But so there you go. I spoiled it for Drew. Rick's not dead, everybody. He'll be back for a 3-movie arc, and it might take place during this time jump. So there you go. Overall, I like this season. I like it better than last season, if you really think about it, because a lot of people were like away because they were just fighting against Negan. But Negan was a very important part of the story. If you really think about it, Negan is one of the biggest villains that's in this show. We had the governor, you got Negan, and now we're going to have the Whisperers. So we knew all this was coming along. So Negan was very important for the time arc, but yeah, they did take a little too long with it. And I think that's been one of the problems. Some people are like, oh, but why did they kill Glenn? But Glenn was killed in the comics, so they went and did it. Yes, they didn't, get to... Yes, 3 more episodes for the mid-season, though, Drew. And yeah, you're going to like it. You're really going to like what you're going to see. I promise you're going to like it. So catch up. But Negan is a very central character when it came to The Walking Dead. But yes, they focused on it a little too long. I think that's what hurt. If they kind of killed the all-out war by the mid-season finale, I think that would have helped. And they could have worked in the time jump towards the end of last season. And then maybe that's when we could have seen Judith Grimes and the whole thing. But if you guys look at Judith, she looks just like a combination of Lori and Carl. So when you look at her, it's like a spitting image. I love the Shane stuff that we got to see when Rick was hallucinating and he saw Shane, and they relived the moments from the very first episode where they're sitting in the police car eating fries and whatever, and they're looking right in front of the car that flipped over before in the shootout and before Rick went to his coma. So I thought that was really interesting. They did a really good job with that. But overall, I'm still impressed with it. I'm still watching. I'm still enjoying. I think it's good. This season has been good, even though the ratings have fluctuated and they're not as high as they used to be. But I think with this time jump, it's going to help, because the focus on the Whisperers and the focus on the horror again is going to be huge. They need to do that. Yes, we're still going to get talking. Yes, we're still going to get some of the same shit we've had in The Walking Dead in the past. But the focus on the walkers, the zombies, and the whole Whisper angle that people want to see is going to be exciting. And it's definitely must watch. So check it out whenever you can. The only problem I have is all the commercials during the shows. I watch the show the next day. I watch it on Monday. I buy it on Xbox for $2.99, and I watch the episode in HD with no commercials, and it's great. Yes, it's hard to watch on Sundays because there's way too many fucking commercials. It pisses me off. So that's why I always watch the next day, and it works out a lot better. But overall, I'm still impressed with this season. I think it's better than last season and a little bit better than the season before. I think they kind of messed up All Out War a little bit, and but I feel like we're going to get something good with the Whisperers, because we do have change in direction from the showrunners at this point. We have a change in direction, so they know what the fans want, and they're listening to the fans, and we're getting what we need to see. And eventually we'll see the Commonwealth down the road. When will Maggie be back? She'll be back next season, obviously. And then Rick, obviously, we'll see him whenever. We don't know. But at least the movies, and I think they're made for TV movies. So there you go. That's pretty much winding it up right here for tonight. We're going to start getting ready for Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm sorry that things didn't work on the computer today. We were hoping it was going to work out. I had everything set up, and it just lagged like crazy. It wouldn't load up. I'm gonna try and do something in the next couple of days to get things working on my computer to run things on YouTube, but we're very close to getting that going, so I'm not using my phone all the time. So there you go. Elias says, Drew, you're gonna get your spoilers from Elias. There you go. Don't do that to him. Make sure you guys are checking out all the shows. Joe Cronin obviously will be live with Throwdown tonight. Monetize This tomorrow. Make sure you guys check that out. Derailed on Saturday. Insomniac on Saturday. Billy Ricky with the warm-up show on Saturday. I won't be there for Derailed Saturday, so Gina, if you're in the chat, good luck against OK Fabe this weekend. So you're going to need it. So I have a feeling that's going to be myself and OK Fabe in the final. To determine this once and for all that this game should be called Beat the Himmelgod. So there you go. But I won't be there this weekend. So big football game. And as you saw, I told you what I'm wearing, who I'm rooting for a little bit. But on the other side, I know who's going to win, and it's Green Bay. So there you go. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. If it's your first time here, hit subscribe. You guys can hit me up on the Twitter, which is at @high-octane_buzz. It will be in the description. It was in my previous one's description. I will put it in here on this description after the episode. I just need to put something up fast. So I'll be able to go ahead and take care of that stuff after I'm done with this episode today. Twitch, _Himmelgod on Twitch. Twitch streams will return as early as next week. I don't have a date for sure right now. I want to say Tuesday. I think Tuesday is probably going to be the day we get back into it with Red Dead Redemption. More Red Dead Redemption. I might have some more tomorrow on my channel. Make sure you guys check that out. WWE 2K19 is coming up. I'm in the process of making characters. So if you guys want to be in WWE 2K19, let me know, because I got to be able to create you to put you in the matches and get things going with that. So we're going to have those streams, whether they're recorded or they're going to be a live stream, more than likely a live stream. The very first episode will be for the Monetize This Championship, which is going to be a tournament for all the past champions to compete for that belt. So we're going to have, I have the Monetize This belt created, ready to go. So we're going to have that in there. TS says, except for me, I'm vacant. You're going to be vacant. We have to have a vacant in the game. I mean, we just have to have a vacant. But we're going to do that. Call of Duty, obviously. Friday the 13th. Make sure you have the Friday the 13th game, whether you're on Xbox or PlayStation. We're going to be setting up some Friday the 13th live streams coming up in the coming weeks. So make sure, get the game. It was on sale on Xbox also not too long ago. Really cheap. So if you missed out on it, I guarantee by Black Friday they'll probably have it there again to go ahead and get the game. So get Friday the 13th, because we're going to be doing live streams on that as well, with full everybody in the community part of the chat during that stream, so we can all be together hunting each other down. It's going to be great. One person is Jason and the rest of us is the counselors. It's going to be a lot of fun. Who turns their back on who's going to get killed in a sleeping bag kill or something like that. It's going to be exciting, so make sure you check that out. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption, we're going to have posses. We're going to have online play, so make sure online play is going to kick in at the end of this month. So make sure you guys get Red Dead Redemption. We're going to have live streams with that as well, with full live chat. So make sure you guys are a part of that, because that's going to be awesome to put in. I'm pretty sure Joe and everybody else wants to join in. Ken wants to join in. Filthy and everybody else. It's going to be a blast to do Red Dead Redemption with everybody. So make sure you guys get those games, because we're going to play online and have a real blast. So make sure you guys get the Twitch, _Himmelgod. YouTube, you're already here. Hit subscribe. Hit the like button on the way out. Greatly appreciate it today. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for everything this whole week. As I said, it's been a very trying week. I'm supposed to be more vacation oriented, but it was a pain in the ass to deal with some of the things I dealt with. They are dealt with. They're over. I won. I moved on. And we're just going to have good times from this moment forward. So thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Get on over to Joe Cronin Show. Get ready for Thursday Night Throwdown later on tonight. Might have some PUBG or something later on, or maybe he'll play Red Dead Redemption. Who knows? Check out Joe Cronin Show and show some love over there. So I'm Brian Himmelfarb, a.k.a. the Himmelgod. I have spoken, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for being here. See you on the next show.